Steadily it rises.
Hey, it's ODB, the Lincoln Addict, and this video, I want to just kind of reinforce sometimes you got to be ready on these cars if you're looking to buy a Lincoln from the 60s, whether it's a sedan, convertible, or a coupe. Unfortunately, I didn't have enough time the other day to do a review on this listing, and it has since been removed, but I did want to still mention it because this is a very unique car with kind of a cool story behind it that ties in the John Cashman. So I'll go through this briefly. Unfortunately, when I click this link here for this listing, it takes me to an error. And the reason for that is for the fact that it was removed. I happened just to leave this up from the other day, which is why I can still see it. Now, typically you can search on eBay, and for those that don't know, you can actually go down and you can filter it to sold items here on this kind of left list. It takes a second to kind of find it. I do think it was totally removed, and this is a common thing, I think, with eBay that I've seen. I've been on eBay now for almost 25 years. I can't believe it's hard to say that, but people list cars here, and I don't know that eBay necessarily likes this, but people probably message each other and say, hey, can I give you a call? I'll offer you this. Or maybe it sells locally on Facebook Marketplace or whatever. And then they, of course, have the right to, I guess, remove the listing. And that's probably what happened. But let's get into this car real quick. Again, it has been removed. And I know for some of you, you might say, well, hey, I'm here to maybe look for a car. But let's look at some of the other places we can look and get a little bit more information. So if we go to the Lincoln Registry, which is just simply thelincolnregistry.com, I've talked about this page a lot. I pasted in the VIN, and of course, the gentleman that runs this, he's on top of things. He just entered this one just a couple of days ago, which was great. So this, I guess he kind of has a hobby of trying to understand how many of these cars still exist. And of course, when these cars come up for auction, this is a perfect time to be able to snag a VIN. Of course, it's public information. Now, the key thing here is this car, if you Google, and I'm going to put this link in the description. Now, this is a WSJ, Wall Street Journal article. And unfortunately, if you are not a paying member, which I'm currently not, then you can't read this, but you can still see this beautiful image here. And there is a story here that basically ties into John Cashman. It says the dream car her mom always wanted. The luxury 66 Continental convertible fit the bill at a total price tag, believe it or not, of $71,000. It was worth it, says an Arizona marketing executive. Now, you might think that price is high, but I'm going to show you something in a moment. And for those, I'll also link to this video, which was my number. At the time, I was kind of numbering these reviews just because I didn't know how many of these I was going to do. But this was my 12th review back, I don't know, a year or 2 years ago. And I'll link to that video in case you want more information. It was a longer one, but there is a lot to talk about with this car. And the reason why there was a previous review is simply because this car, believe it or not, was sold on Bring a Trailer just over 2 years ago on May 28th of 2022. You could see right here, this car sold for $97,000, which I thought at the time was a very, very strong price. Of course, we've seen prices over the past few years really just go up through the roof. There was a lot to talk about, so I don't want to go too much into a depth review, because if you want more details, you can click the link at the end of this video or in the description, and you can watch the review. But this is the key thing when you're looking to buy one of these cars. You can obviously watch the channel here, or if you're searching for this VIN number out on the interwebs, as Richard Rawlings would call it, aka the internet, you can find a lot of information on said car. And that's exactly what, if you were looking to do some intel, you basically go, hey, this person's owned this car just over 2 years. They bought it for $97,000. Like, if you could have got this car for, let's say $50,000 or $60,000, then wow, this person took a pretty big hit the last couple years. Now, is it worth $97,000? I'm not here to talk about that today. But I did want to just reinforce that, this car was a previous sell on Bring a Trailer, and it did pop up just the other day on eBay, and unfortunately has been removed, which could be a good thing for the seller. You can see here it had 5 days left at $20,000 bid. Of course, that was more than likely going to go up. I forget exactly where it was at, but it was obviously over 60 miles. That's something that eBay kind of reinforces now whenever you're looking at these listings. There's plenty more out there. You can see underneath it a 62. I'm going to work on this review here shortly. This one has a buy it now, so just a little public service announcement for everyone there. But certainly, there's a few links in the description. I appreciate the support here on the channel. I'm not paid by any of these different venues. I'm not, selling these cars. I've got no kind of stake in these, if you will. It's more of just a public service announcement. One thing that you'll see from this photo here is this passenger mirror is not a correct mirror for 66 and up for the passenger mirror, which is super rare. There is someone producing those mirrors now in a very, very nice billet aluminum, I believe it's made out of. But very, very cool car. More information in the links. Thank you so much for the support. Have a great weekend. Stay on the rise. ODB, the Lincoln Addict. We're out of here.